It's Thursday, February 8th, 2018. And welcome to Vanran10 on sports. So, doing another video today. Why not? A lot of interesting thing happened. Mainly, the Cleveland Cavaliers made a ton of trades. They basically did nothing this whole time. Then they get close to the trade deadline and they trade half the team away. So we're going to talk about that for a second. Cleveland basically traded away Isaiah Thomas, Channing Frye, I think a couple of second round picks, which in the NBA is worth absolutely nothing. It's like giving away seventh round picks in the NFL, but those actually hold a little bit more weight. Maybe it's like giving away a 20th round pick in the MLB draft or hockey. I don't know. It's second round picks usually are pretty useless. They give away Dwayne Wade, Derrick Rose, Jay Crowder, Iman Shumpert. They unload half the team in one day. Now, the Cleveland Cavaliers have been struggling. They've lost like 13 of their last 20 games, so they've been struggling. LeBron James has been crying bloody murder about how he needs his team revamped and they need to trade that Brooklyn pick. Trade the Brooklyn pick. Guess what? Out of all of this, they did not trade the Brooklyn pick. They traded away their first round pick, but they didn't trade away the Brooklyn first round pick that they have. So they kept the higher pick and got rid of their first round pick, which will probably be in the mid to late 20s in the next NBA draft. So at the back end of the first round. So that's the only pick they actually gave up. So not bad. They still keep the Brooklyn pick, which is a high pick, and they revamp their team completely. They picked up Rodney Hood from the Utah Jazz. Averages 17.3 rebounds, 3 assists. Is only going to cost them $6.5 million over the next 4 years. They pick up George Hill from the Sacramento Kings. 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists is what he's doing this season. He is on the line for $19 million a year over the next 3 years. $57 million. And he only averages 10 points a game. Okay, I mean, granted, George Hill is a 31-year-old NBA player. Rodney Hood is only 25. So Rodney Hood is a bargain in this. But they're also dumping, I think they dumped Derrick Rose and Jay Crowder on the Jazz. Derrick Rose, there's rumors that Derrick Rose is just going to get cut. But the Minnesota Timberwolves seem to be interested. It's like, oh, sorry, Derrick Rose. I mean, it's sad to think about Derrick Rose because Derrick Rose had such great potential those first few years with the Bulls. My God, what a great player he was. But they say he just threw his body around so violently, it broke him. And it's sad to see because he had the chance to be, he was an MVP. He had a chance to be a great, great player, and his body just didn't hold up, which is unfortunate. The Cleveland Cavaliers also get Jordan Clarkson from the Lakers and Larry Nance Jr. from the Lakers. Now, Jordan Clark is on the hook for about $12 million a season. He's about $36 million over the next 3 years. Larry Nance is only getting about $7 million over the next 3 years. That's a good, pickup. Larry Nance is averaging about 8.5 points, 7 rebounds a game, and Clarkson is averaging about 14.5 points. The Cleveland Cavaliers, I feel, did a really good job of rebuilding this team. You still, of course, have LeBron James, but they rebuilt this team. A lot of those players like Rodney Hood and George Hill and Clarkson and Nance. Nance is a big guy. It seems like, though, with George Hill, Rodney Hood, and Clarkson, they may have picked up a lot of scoring, but not maybe... I guess a couple of these guys play better defense than what they had. So I really like what Cleveland did. They didn't bring any giant names, but they got rid of a ton of people that weren't happy there anyway. And they brought in a ton of new talent to bring to play with LeBron. If these guys can get it together quick enough, they can still win the East. In fact, I still think this is the best team because of LeBron James is still the best player in the East, so I think that this is still the best team in the East. Cleveland did a great job. They gave away Wade to the Heat for a second round pick, a protected second round pick, kind of as a favor to Wade. It's like, here, go back to Miami, but we just don't need you here. You're not really helping us. Jay Crowder was not having a good season. He was thought to be almost the steal in that trade for Kyrie Irving, but he has not been the same player. Rose was just a pickup. Iman Shumpert hasn't done much. But Lonzo Ball is going to add nothing. He's getting Isaiah Thomas and Channing Frye. Now, the thing about those, Isaiah Thomas and Channing Frye both have expiring contracts. So the 13.5 million that these two have on the books will be gone next year. Plus, the Lakers got rid of Clarkson's 36 million that they're going to have to pay him. So they're opening up, by next season, the Lakers are going to open up a ton of salary. Now, whether it's just going to be to bring in Paul George, that it's still going to be good because even if they don't get LeBron James, there is enough money in there to maybe pick up another guy. So they can maybe bring in another big name free agent, maybe not as big, but you've still got Ingram, you've still got Kuzma, you've still got Lonzo Ball, and you're gonna pick up Paul George probably. Maybe not next year, maybe the year after, but there's gonna be a lot of money there to pick up another free agent. So even if they don't spend that money, they're saying that the 2019 free agent market might be better. So maybe the Lakers just kind of keep what they have. They let Thomas go. They let Channing Frye go, and just kind of fill the roster with a couple more guys. Use that first round pick from Cleveland, pick up another player, get Lonzo Ball and Ingram and Kuzma some more help, and they could really, 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 really be building for a good free agent market in 2019. So they may have a lot of money there, and those three players, Kuzma, Ingram, and Lonzo Ball, get another year better, and they're, and then you have another first round pick in there with Cleveland's extra first round pick, and you move forward. So it could be really good for the Lakers. Ton of salary cap space. Your young players will get another year to develop without a lot of pressure, because now they're not going to have LeBron James. They might not even have Paul George. So there's not going to be a lot of pressure for that team to increase a ton. But if they can go from winning, maybe, I don't know what they're on pace. They're probably on pace to win about 35 games, somewhere in there, 35 to 40 games. So if they can improve that to winning 45 games, somewhere 40, about 45 games, they improve a little bit more. Now you bring in Paul George. Now you bring in another big name free agent with all that extra money, and Lonzo Ball, Ingram, and Kuzma have all gotten better. Maybe this other first round pick, a couple of your other first round picks, the one from Cleveland, I don't know if Lakers still have theirs, but maybe you improve even a little bit more. So Lonzo Ball, when he finally gets healthy, and we touched on that in another video, I'm kind of concerned that this guy is still out, but hopefully, just get him better. I mean, the Lakers aren't going anywhere this year anyway, so don't risk Lonzo's health. Don't risk a really good young player's health, to make up a couple games because you want to stay in that lottery. Because if the Lakers if they have that first round pick still, and it ends up in the lottery, their first round pick, you pick up another top three player to put with Kuzma, Ingram, or Ball, you could really, really start to build a great team. And that Lakers team could be great again within the next 5 years and be contending for titles. So I think this move benefits both teams. This is one of those, I really like it for both teams. I like it for the Lakers, and I like it for Cleveland. I think both teams set themselves up well. Cleveland set themselves up for now. The Lakers have set themselves up for the future. And you want to win now if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, because you want to convince LeBron to stay with you and you want to have some good players around him that can convince him, just like, hey, look what we brought in, and we still have that Brooklyn first round pick to get you another young player. So don't leave us, LeBron. Stick around and stick around for another few years, because we just showed you what we're willing to do for you. And then the Lakers are showing their fans, it's like, we've got a plan. We've got a plan. Magic has a plan to build a good, young, solid team and to dive into that free agent market in 2019. Maybe you bring in somebody else in 2018, but I think maybe the Lakers are really setting themselves up very well to have their good young players get a lot better, bring in another couple good young players, and have cap space for when the free agent market is a little bit better. Now, the last topic we're going to touch on, I despise this person. His name is Josh McDaniels. So we're going to go a little bit of NFL here. I wanted to talk about this, but I don't want to spend a lot of time. I don't want to spend a lot of time on the anger that I have towards Josh McDaniels. Now, I'm not a Colts fan, but I am a Broncos fan. This guy is not a good head football coach. Josh McDaniels, to the Indianapolis Colts fans that are out there, you dodged a bullet. I know that he snaked out on you, but you dodged a bullet because you don't have a terrible head coach right now. This is a guy who traded away 3 draft picks to trade up to get Tim Tebow. I think that's all that needs to be said, but I'm going to say more. Josh McDaniels was an arrogant little punk while he was here. Josh McDaniels ran Jay Cutler out of town. Now, looking back, at the time, Jay Cutler was a good young quarterback with potential. Now you can look back and sit there and go, oh, okay, that's not the worst thing that could have happened to us. But he didn't replace him with the great quarterback. He replaced him with Tebow, which is worse than Cutler. And it really hurt the Broncos. Now, the only way it really helped is Elway came in here. He brought in Peyton Manning because, you didn't have Cutler here anymore. They didn't like Tebow. So Josh McDaniels' ineptitude, kind of helped the Broncos down the road because it helped us get Peyton Manning because we didn't have Cutler on the books and we had a quarterback that Elway and John Fox couldn't stand. They liked him as a person, but they couldn't stand him as their starting quarterback. Personally, I like Tim Tebow. I root for his success. He just wasn't a good quarterback. He could have been a great NFL player for 10 years as some other position, but he thought he had to be a quarterback, and you're not a quarterback, my man, but you could have played 10 years in the NFL at another position because you're a really good athlete. But Josh McDaniels, arrogant, he's a sneaky little snake. The whole thing sets itself up almost like Belichick did to the Jets, 18 years ago when he backed out on them and went to the Patriots. So I'm thinking probably Robert Kraft has probably told Josh McDaniels, this will be your team when Belichick leaves. But when is Belichick leaving? I don't know. But it'll probably not be there when Belichick does leave. Probably Tom Brady won't be there. So you're not going to have the guy who's responsible for all of your success. You're going to be starting from scratch, and Belichick's going to leave you with nothing. He's going to leave the cupboard bare. I guarantee you Belichick's going to leave. He's not going to leave you with anything. He's just not. So I really hope this move blows up in Josh McDaniels' face. I don't root for him. I root against him. I've been rooting against him for years. Josh McDaniels is an arrogant, sneaky little punk. This is a guy don't turn your back on him. If you know him, don't turn your back on him because he'll be the first one to jab a knife into it real fast. So I just had to get that off my chest. I just don't like him. So, good for the Lakers, good for the Cavaliers. I like the trade for both of those teams. I think both of those teams, the Lakers are going to be better in the future. The Cavs are going to be better now. Good for them. Both those teams did really good. And with all that being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.